Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tomball ISD Board of Trustees call to order June 2nd, 2026 at 5:31 p.m. For the record, a quorum is present. All trustees are in attendance tonight. The meeting is being recorded in accordance with Government Code Section 551.128. We would like to welcome those in attendance tonight and those viewing online. The Board of Trustees' role is to set goals, review reports, approve a budget, contracts and personnel appointments, and establish policies for the district. It is the superintendent's role and responsibility to handle the day-to-day operation of the district. Policies and procedures are in place to address any concerns. This is a business meeting of the Board of Trustees that is open to the public. However, it is not a meeting of the public. Public participation is limited, designated times during the meeting for citizen comment for those that have registered to speak in accordance with board procedures. We ask for your cooperation in ensuring that the meeting runs in an orderly manner. Just for record, board members have received items related to tonight's agenda and have had the opportunity in Monday night's meeting and workshop to ask questions of the superintendent related to those agenda items. Items on the agenda for tonight's meeting may not be handled in the order of the agenda. Additionally, if the board determines at any point during the meeting that it needs to go and convene in executive session, the board will do so in accordance with section 551.071 through 551.084 of the Texas Government Code. Tonight we will start out with opening remarks by Mr. Beecher, pledges by Mrs. Bass, and mission statement by Mr. White.
All right, thank you.
Dan.
Please stand as you're able. I have a prayer to offer to us tonight. Dear Lord, thank you for the community of Tomball ISD and bringing us here tonight to make decisions on how best to support it. Guide our thoughts, words, and deeds, and may they glorify you. We ask that you watch over our graduates of the class of 2026 as they move on to a new chapter in their lives. Thank you for the knowledge they gained, the challenges they overcame, and the growth they experienced. Help them carry forward the lessons they learned, not only in their studies, but in character and perseverance. We are grateful for our teachers, staff, and families who have guided and supported us. Bless them with rest, renewal, and encouragement. And finally, we lift up our first responders. Protect them from harm as they work hard each day to protect us. All this we ask in your holy and gracious name. Amen.
Please join me in the pledges to the United States and Texas flags. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Mission statement: Tomball ISD empowers students to become impactful, contributing citizens by providing innovative, individually rigorous, and personally valuable educational experiences while partnering with the community.
I'll call it out and see. So at this time, we have no public comments on agenda items this evening. However, we will now proceed with public comments on non-agenda items. And let's see, we're looking for Mr. Brian Dutton. I don't have it.
Hey, sir, just hold up one second. There's a procedure thing that needs to be done first.
Okay. Testing, testing, testing.
Sorry about that. We just had to find the right words. This is for public comment on non-agenda items. The board encourages comments about the district from members of the public. However, speakers are required to conduct themselves with proper respect and decorum in addressing the Board of Trustees and in all conduct during a board meeting. Individuals who do not conduct themselves in an orderly and appropriate manner will receive a verbal warning and may be asked to leave. The board asks that each participant comments pertain to district business and be no longer than 3 minutes. Procedures for any member of the public who is accompanied by a translator, your time will be doubled as required by law. We will utilize an electronic timer visible on the right side of the speaker's podium. The first 1 minute will be displayed in green, and audible tone will sound when the speaker has 1 minute remaining, and the display will change to yellow. Another will sound 10 seconds remain, and the display will change to red. At the end of the 3 minutes, an audible tone will sound to end the session. The board may not discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on the agenda. And in addition, the board has adopted policies to provide prompt and equitable resolution of complaints and concerns for employees, students, or parents, and the general public. Copies of the district policy and procedures on public comment and filing complaints are available in the district website. Thank you for your concern regarding school district, and we will now hear from you. So, let's see.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time today. Wanted to actually introduce myself. My name is Brian Dutton. I actually represent all campus security, and just as the name sounds, that's what we do. We actually service pretty much nothing but school districts and private schools and churches. So we have a very vested interest in the public and in the kids, the next generation that we have growing up. So that's something that I wanted to just come and make you aware about, is that the difference, there's a lot of people out there, that a lot of providers that do great work. And I've been in the industry for about 20 years. And something that I love and that means a lot to me and why I work for the company is specifically because we care. We care about your needs. We care about the kids. We care about the faculty. And we care about getting the job done right the first time. And if we don't, we're there to take care of it right away. Example of this, just real quick, something that I'm proud of that is something about who we are, is at 3:25 a.m., there was another school district that had an issue. We were texting back and forth, sales, operations, it didn't matter. We needed to get the situation resolved. That's the kind of people that we work with. Whether you have a maintenance program with us or what, or anything of that nature, it's all about making sure that you have what you need. And my time's running short, but I understand there might be some needs in the district from an intrusion alarm standpoint, possibly. I'd like to just maybe approach that with you at another time. But just today is just simply just to introduce who we are and what we do and why we do it. And I appreciate the time today.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming by. Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we will proceed with the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Beecher, and seconded by Mr. White. Do I have? Any board members that have any comments or questions? Hearing none, do I have a? Go to a vote. Want to go to a vote? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Onward to the considered agenda, we'll now proceed with item A, approve of application for optional flexible school day program for SY 2026-2027. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. White and second by Mr. McStravick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item B, approve the release of $975,000 from committed funds to initiate Phase 3 of Exceeding Excellence 2030. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
No, motion made by Mrs. Bass and seconded by Mr. Dr. Pratt. Any discussion? Hearing
To
none.
clarify that
Oh,
this
go
is
ahead.
coming out of committed fund balance, not out of the budget next year.
Correct, you are
Thank you.
correct. You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item C, approve the release of $1,238,260 from committed funds for CTE for the 2026-2027 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McStravick, second by Mrs. Bass. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item D, approve the 2026-2027 salary and benefits book. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. White, second by Mr. Beecher. Any discussion?
Hey, Mr. President, are we a little out of order on the agenda items D and E compared to F? Shouldn't we be focused on item F before we consider items D and E? And if I'm having a moment here on the order, please educate me.
Zach has something to say.
So the way it was set up, the items that for the agenda were put in that order.
Yeah.
And
Should
We
we?
can-
Mr. Bowles, would you like to add? I think he might want to say something.
So because the salary and benefits book drives the dollar amount that's in the 2% raise, and the 2% raise would become a portion of the budget if approved, you would approve in that order so that by the time you're adopting the budget, it incorporates those two items as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Bowles.
thank you.
So the salary and benefits book has the 2% raise in it, or is that accomplished in item E?
The 2% raise is accomplished in item E. The salary and benefits book, when you approve that, it sets the midpoint that that 2% is based on.
Okay. So the equity pay increases, is that in item D?
That would be equity, any equity adjustments that would be triggered by the adjustment of the pay scales in item D, yes.
Thanks for clarifying. I appreciate it.
All right, back to item D. Do we have any additional discussion?
That helps, and that's the piece that I was definitely in support of. Thank you for the additional information on breaking out those different pieces, but the equity adjustments was including positions like our paras and our librarians and counselors, and I looked at all those job titles, and that's definitely the piece that I fully support.
Any other comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
I think it was already on the
We
floor.
do have one, sorry. All right, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item E, approve a general pay increase of 2% for all staff based on the midpoint value in the district pay schedules as adopted in the salaries and benefits book for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McStravick, seconded by Mr. White. Any discussion?
Yeah, I wanted to add context to something I heard you say, Mr. Pratt, last night, that all the districts around us were doing raises, and that's not entirely true. There were a few that were mentioned that are. Cy-Fair, to my knowledge, is not doing any raises, and in fact, they're looking at doing a Vader this November. Conroe is not doing raises. Magnolia is, but to my knowledge, with relatives that work there, we pay more than Magnolia as it is. So I just wanted to add that context to what you're doing and to acknowledge that this is a big, price tag. If there's any appetite to tighten the belt on any of these items, I'd be amenable to that, Mr. Pratt.
You're pointing to me. As far as the comment all, I don't know that I made that comment, but I am aware of districts in our surrounding area that are providing either a 2% or a 3%. And so that was the basis of my comment last night. One of the things that we talk about in Tomball ISD is the competitive rate. And in this case, I am more inclined to support a general pay increase of 2% rather than not. I think there are other areas in the budget, as we talked about last night, that I think could be addressed. I just think the 2% general pay raise is one that I'd like to preserve and see in the budget going forward.
Yeah, so I'll chime in. I mean, I wish we could give more than 2%, but I feel like under the situation we're at right now, that is what we can do. We have been consistent in giving raises to our staff every year for most years since I've been on this board. I think that comes back to us in tenfold because we're loyal to the staff and the staff is loyal to us. Now, we have to be good financial stewards of the funds we have, but given where the next item that we're going to pick up on the budget, given what I've seen on the budget, we are going to be okay and be able to provide our staff with that 2% raise. So wished it could be more. We're still in some uncertain times. It's great that a year ago and 2 years ago we made some good adjustments. Martha, you and your team have worked on trying to find where those adjustments needed to be. You've made them then. You're doing another round now with the equity adjustments. So that's all great. We're trying to stay current on that. And with respect to our teachers, we also know that the state increased their rate of pay for those 2 years and more with service. So that happened last year as well. So I'm glad we're able to give a raise. I'm fully supportive of that. I think 2% is the right number for this year, and I wish it could be more, but let's see what happens in the years out.
I just want to echo what Mr. McStravick said. I believe that I wish we could do more, but at this time, I believe the 2% is, the best that we can do right now with what we working with. So
I would tend to agree that at this point in time, 2% is a good figure for us, and I think that we can handle that without an issue. And at some point in the future, hopefully, we can always do better.
I will chip in, though, the other thing that we need to make sure of is that we do look at total comp, right? And so we are also, with the adoption that we already did of the salary and benefit book, we have also contributed a little bit more to the medical premium, and so that helps defer some of that increase. About a little bit more than 50% of the increase, right? That TRS put on the employees that have the medical benefit. So we're trying to help out there as well. So that's a total comp type of package.
Any further comments or discussion? Motion's been made and seconded. All of those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item F, adopt the 2026-2027 budget in the amounts proposed by fund and function for the general fund, food service fund, and debt service fund. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made by Mr. White, seconded by Mr. Beecher. Any discussion?
I realized last night we didn't talk about fund balance. Can someone, either Mr. Bowles or Mr. McStravick or Dr. Z, remind us what the board policy is on fund balance and how that outlook is for this year?
I may need to pull some numbers up on my computer, but the fund balance policy that the board requires is in unassigned and assigned fund balances. We're required to maintain 25% of the current year's operating budget. And so where we currently stand, I believe we're a little over 31% as of, we were a little over 31% is where we project to end the current year. So when you talk about that percentage, when we close the books in 25-26, if that's a fully balanced budget and completely break even, we would be at 31.2% of the 26-27 budget, expenditure budget. And then as you look at 26-27, based upon, there's some other factors in there as far as whether or not the board considers the release of any committed fund balances back to the general fund. You could increase if you're looking solely at what the impact of a $5.9 million deficit would be. Obviously, that would have a reduction. But the other thing that we have to keep in mind would be that there's the $9 million that we expect from our property value audit that would come in that would offset that as well. So in the scheme of looking at that combination of things, we would expect that our percentage when we look at the board's requirement under policy, that we would still be well above that.
You need to put a footnote on this, the 25%, because it's not on here, and it kind of freaked me out for a minute, but
Got it.
we're way above the board policy requirement of 25%, it looks like, for a couple of years at least.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's helpful.
And although I don't like voting for a budget with a deficit in there, but do recognize that it's a timing issue and we're opening a new school, and I have confidence in the staff that we can make that up. And Mr. Bowles, please expect probably a question every meeting going forward. Has anything changed? Have we gotten the money yet? Until we do get it, just to keep on that, because it is an important part of this discussion here. And then communicating this out to the public. I think it's important that we use the tools and avenues that we have available to us to get this out to the public and help them understand this complicated issue and the difficulty that the state legislature has put onto us.
I reiterate your points. I think it's important that we communicate this in the best means possible. And, we don't have to go into all the nitty-gritty, but at least so that people understand that it's a timing issue. That's what we're up against is really which year does it come into? And chances are it's coming into 26-27. I mean, if history repeats itself. Again, I just appreciate the transparency of you, Martha, and Zach with respect to this, because it's more than likely going to hit 26, 27, and you could have estimated that in potentially. But we've had the ability to have a discussion about it and talk about it, and that's important. So thank you for that transparency.
Thank you.
I looked at my notes from last year, and I think what you called it last year was a settle-up, right, on the property tax audit, if I'm understanding it correctly. But this is a much larger amount, because last year you had said the previous 5 years average was like 1 point something million. But, so this is a much larger, because of the hold harmless, which is the term that you're using now, which makes sense, with the state giving tax relief package. But the question I asked last night, you understood what I was asking, Mr. McStravick. We're not relying on the $9 million coming in late to help us next year, and also pulling forward the next year. We're not pulling 2 years into 26, 27, are we? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
As far as the $9 million?
Well, I understand that most likely will come in the 26, 27 year, but we're not.
I think she's saying when you true up for 26, 27, that's more than likely going to hit 27, 28.
Oh, correct. No.
Okay,
no.
so it's consistent from year to year. It's not pulling 2 years worth of true ups into 1 year.
Right.
Okay, that was my concern, so that helps. Thank you.
Okay, so here's where I land on this. I'm not seeing the certainty of the $9 million being recognized as a surplus in the 26-27 fiscal year. If I look at your notes, Receipt of these funds will be dependent upon submission and validation by the state and could result in the following scenarios. One, state validation occurs quickly and is incorporated into our final funding calculations by the end of 2026, resulting in $9 million being recognized as a surplus to the 25-26 fiscal year. So that's where I have uncertainty, which is a bit what I was getting at last night about placing a bet. The second scenario is state validation follows the typical time frame, roughly 1 year, and is received as a prior year settle up, those words, sometime after November 2026. So that would result in $9 million being recognized as revenue in the 26-27 fiscal year, which if you do the difference, that's the $3.1 million that we talked about last night. So I'm not seeing the certainty of that based upon the memo, and I still have pause about that. Any comments on the timing and validation that you're highlighting as scenario 1 and 2?
So the scenarios hold true. The $9 million is the dollar amount
Yeah.
that we will receive.
I get that.
The scenarios fully depend on when the property value audit is certified and submitted to TEA to ultimately update the funding, the summary of finance and the funding formulas for the district. So depending upon when they do that, if it falls within a time frame of when our audit is being completed, we have a look back as they're working through and up until we adopt, or the board adopts the audit for 25-26. If it's been settled at that point, then we would have to incorporate that from accounting standards standpoint into the 25-26 audit and revenue. If it occurs after that date, then it's going to be considered part of the revenue for 26-27. So the scenarios do hold true. The dollar figure is
Static, it's the same. So
yes.
it's to the good. It's just a function of, is there a possibility of delaying or having a partial budget where we have a balanced budget here this month, but then revisit this and adjust the budget in November to account for the $9 million, if it's in or not? I didn't get that answer.
Right, and so if that's the case, and it does appear that it's coming in later, and we see that through the process, yes, we're going to come back to the board and adjust the revenue side of the budget to account for that.
Okay.
And if it comes in early and it has to be recognized in 25-26, it goes into fund balance, right? Which you then could draw from, correct? Is that how that would work? Okay.
So it still comes down to timing. All right. Any further discussion? We do have a motion and a second. With that, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 6-1. Item G, accept or reject the renewal of property and crime insurance in the amount of $3,237,530 as proposed by TASB Risk Management. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McStravick, second by Mrs. Bass. Any discussion?
So real quick, I think we've discussed this a little bit before, but we are going to be continuing to look forward in time, and because there does tend to take some time to move insurance companies because of appraisals or whatever reviews that they do. We are going to continue to look to see if the market can support something different in out years, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Any further discussion? Barring none, we do have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion carries 6-1, sorry. Yeah. Any opposed? Item H, approve the settlement terms as discussed in closed session in the matter involving State Farm Claim Number 53-706G4-37P and authorize the District General Counsel to execute any and all necessary documentation on behalf of the district to effectuate the settlement. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. White, second by Mr. Beecher. Any discussion? Hearing none. Do I? All, yes. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item I, approve the recommendation to award RFP 998-26 to Gamma Construction for the parking lot expansion at TISD Transportation Facility with a construction cost of $5,738,000, including a contingency budget of $700,000, using bond 2025 funds. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Crackey, second by Mrs. Bass. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item J, approve the purchase of interior bleachers from RFS Sports for the replacement of the Tomball High School competition and auxiliary gym bleachers with a total cost of $461,040, utilizing purchasing cooperative tips 250-10401, using bond 2025 funds. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. White, second by Mrs. Crackey. Any discussion?
Hey, Dr. Z, on the bleachers, what's that kind of from start to finish, the estimated time?
The plan is to have them completed next summer,
Yeah.
but start to finish prior to the school year. So starting when school is out and having them complete for the following school year.
Yeah. I get, and I'm supportive of what the people on the campus are supporting, but man,
Yes.
any means to accelerate that or slip that in, or?
None at all.
I mean-
And I'll tell you why. I went into this, yesterday, the concern of the fact that the company that bid it prior was inaccurate in their calculations. So they retracted, and we ended up going with a different group. The RFP that you see here. And I will say that we knew at that point that we could not get them in for this summer. The plan was to have them for this summer. And then in talking to the campus, they were really concerned about which sport do you affect, knowing that our bleachers are there for everything and everyone, and whether it's, just think sports and our dancers and just so many different things. I understood that was difficult. Like, who do you say, oh, you don't get usage of the bleachers or the gym? Working with Dr. Gutierrez, the coaching staff, the fine arts staff, and the admin, the decision was made to wait for the summer, get through what we have for many, many years, and many of you were students at that very same gym, those gyms, and have it all done and ensure that they're done in the, so I'm going to honor, my point is, I'm going to honor admin's decision.
I'm aligned with it. I
Okay.
just, I
Yeah,
guess
I wish
the
it could be sooner. I
replacement
really do.
doesn't- My simple mind doesn't
Yeah.
take that long.
Yeah.
But I
It's
also
the
understand.
tear out
Yeah.
and the rebuild.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's a bit of a process.
Okay. Thank you.
Seems so much easier in our minds. I get it. Apparently not.
Any further discussion? Barring none, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item L, approve the employment. Oh, wait, sorry. Item K, approve contract with Great Expectations, for the 2026-27 school year, not to exceed 357, golly, sorry, folks. I'm having trouble with my eyes. $355,200. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Mr. McStravick, second by Dr. Pratt. Any discussion?
I'll repeat my request to have a instructive presentation for me to learn more about this program, the practices from a teacher perspective, whenever we could do that. Thank you.
Absolutely. We always enjoy highlighting Great Expectations as we have in the past, and then allow you to also see it in practice the multiple times we've been on campuses for boardwalks, but we're happy to do that.
I would appreciate that as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe we can do it with the mini practical, the comment from last night, I don't have the name of it, but the practical life skills.
Oh,
We could maybe do a combo if we're going to talk about character and life skills.
We shall see. We'll definitely do both of them. I don't know if they'll be together, but
Sure.
we'll definitely do
I'm
the
just-
two of them.
it's convenient, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I just want to chime in and say I appreciate you and your team's efforts on our character programs in the district. I think last night we saw kind of another icing on the cake, showing that, you know, we're taking our children that have been part of the Great Expectations program and then moving through career. That's our in-house program as well. And then you see Memorial receiving the accolade. So I think that's great. I think it tips its hat to career because it's showing that program is generating the same type of positive things at the secondary level.
Yep.
So appreciate the continued effort by your team. I know the state requires it now, but we were ahead of the game on this.
Oh, very much so. This has been going on for as many years as I can remember, and it was something I was very proud to bring to Tomball ISD as I have to any other district I've been a part of for many years.
Yeah, your beta tester's out there, isn't he?
Absolutely, Dr. Wright.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, a motion was made and seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item L, approve the employment of professional personnel to work under a probationary contract for the 2026-2027 school year at Tomball ISD salary schedule, subject to assignment. Teachers. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Beecher, second by Mr. White. Any discussion? Hearing none. Motion's been made and seconded. All of those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. That concludes the agenda items, and at this time, I'll offer up this time to the board for further comment.
Hi, Dr. Z. Largest graduating class in the history of Tomball ISD walked the stage here in the latter part of May. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was exciting.
Yeah, that
Great
was
2 days.
And each of the three ceremonies were amazing. Seeing the Wildcat Walk and the Cougar Walk and all the events that preceded that was very exciting. Certainly observing the success of our students in softball, fine arts, baseball. I mean, we're having a big ending here to a very great year. And so thank you to you, your cabinet, your campus leaders, your staff, and all those hardworking teachers and staff members out there. It's kind of the best part of the year, and I know everyone's tired, and I hope everyone has the opportunity to rest and relax and reset as we move back towards August again.
Thank you so much. Graduation is exciting. It's one of our favorite days for sure. And it's not over, as you mentioned. We are still in baseball. Anyone that can join us on Saturday at Dell Diamond in Round Rock at 4, you are welcome to cheer on the Tomball Cougars to victory. That was a shameless plug. My mic was on.
You have a receptive audience.
I mean, you know.
Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll open up the floor to motion for adjournment.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. White, seconded by Mr. McStravick. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously.